Welcome to Call Me Didi, everyone. I'm your host Diva.
And I'm your host Sanchi, and let's get into today's episode. Now, before we start, of course, we have to do our highlight of the week. So, Diva, do you want to go first?
Yes, I can go first. So this week I actually went and met a client of mine from work, and I went to their office and I spoke to her about her business, and I just had a really, really good conversation with her. Obviously talked about her work, but we also talked about how she grew her business from when she took over from her dad and how much it has grown. And she talked about all the things she's done to grow it. And it's actually come into effect and she's seeing sales come off it now. And I realized how much I enjoy talking to inspirational women and how much I like being around these women as well and working with them. So I came out of that conversation feeling really, really refreshed and just very inspired. So I really like that. And really set the tone for the week for me.
Love it.
Yeah. What was your highlight of the week?
My highlight was actually my solo date last week.
Yeah, you did go for one.
Yeah, but it was not the whole solo date thing. So this one specific incident happened with me. I went to this taco place for dinner and it was in the city. So I just went there and I was like very happy in my zone. I went there and I was like, hey, table for one, please. Because it was a Saturday night. And she looked at me. She's like, oh, table for one. I'm not sure if we have that. I was like, oh, it's okay. I'm happy to wait.
Yeah.
And then she went inside. She was like, give me whatever. She came back and she was like, okay, you can take this table. That's fine.
A bitch, bro.
With that look. And I was like, what? And then the table, like the candle on the table wasn't lit. So I was like, hey, excuse me, can you please light the candle for me?
Yeah.
And then I was just enjoying that. And the thing that even though she gave me the look and she was like, who comes alone?
Yeah.
I, like, my confidence didn't shake.
Yeah, I love that.
Still, like, in my zone, having the time of my life.
Yeah.
So, and that was a huge progress, I feel.
That's awesome. I think she needs some more self-love in her life because she's definitely never gone on a solo date, it seems like. So
Looks like it.
maybe we need to link her to our podcast. Be like, you need this.
Anyways, so what are we talking about today?
We're talking about a really fun topic in my opinion. We're talking about how to deal with toxic housemates. But I do want to introduce the series that we're starting. So we're starting a how-to series where we release a how-to something to help you with your life and navigate your 20s for the next 10 weeks.
Yes.
So 10 episodes for the next 10 weeks.
Yes. What we have decided is before we used to do fortnightly episodes every Tuesday. Now we're going to do weekly episodes, but they're going to be shorter. So we are going to do 15-minute episodes every week for the next 10 weeks. So watch out!
Yes, we're so excited. I mean, do you guys like longer episodes or do you guys like shorter episodes? Tell us.
Yeah.
We're intrigued because I think everybody has their preferences, but I want to know what you like.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
tell me, have you ever lived with a toxic housemate before?
I'm currently living with one now.
Excuse me.
I'm kidding. I've lived with a few. I have lots of experiences with toxic housemates.
Interesting. So, how many people have you lived with in your life then?
I've lived with I was doing the math on this before, and I think I've lived with 15-ish people.
Damn!
Yeah, since I came to Australia.
That's crazy.
I've lived with a lot of people. You?
I think I've lived with 9-10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's still a fairly decent number.
Yeah. But we have a two-year gap.
Between when we came to Australia. Yeah. That's true. Do you have a story about a toxic or a weird housemate?
Actually, no.
You don't?
I wouldn't say I've had a toxic housemate. I've always had housemates.
Yeah.
A lot of them, sometimes the vibes don't match.
Yeah.
So they're not bad people or toxic. Toxicity is not there.
Yeah.
It's just a few things that we don't align on.
Yeah.
So then it's not like a friendship.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
feel like home.
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway, so I didn't have any toxic housemates. But how would you actually define a toxic housemate? What's according to you a toxic housemate?
Yeah. I think the biggest one is when they're passive aggressive. When they send you those texts. You guys are in the same house. You've just met in the kitchen 5 minutes back, but she goes to her room and sends you like a really long text, like, can you do this or can you do that? Or like, just the energy, like I hate it. I hate it. I hate passive aggressiveness. And I think that creates so much toxicity in the house because you don't even have the guts to have an open conversation. Like, you can't speak to her face to face. Like, that is, to me, is toxic. Somebody who's inconsiderate of your needs.
Yes.
So obviously you're living with a stranger, right? You have different lifestyles, you have different everything, and you've grown up in different ways. But if you have voiced your need, saying, hey, like, this thing that you do interferes in my life in whatever way, and they still don't respect that, like, they don't change their actions because of that, I think that's a bit toxic because you're not considerate.
Yeah.
Unless obviously your request is really just a bit like too much and the other person's like, okay, she can go fuck off because, it's just, that's too much to ask. But generally your requests wouldn't be too much.
True. I think one for me is that if the person is not really mature,
yeah,
in terms of like, if you feel like, well, the person can't even have a conversation, or they're just very like bitchy about things and will do weird things behind your back.
Yeah.
And just not good vibes.
Yeah.
You just feel so
like, you can just tell that the energy is off. And that was going to be my third trait in a toxic housemate, which is bad vibes or energy drainers. And that can be anything, right? Like somebody who always complains, for example, right? You don't want to be living with them. Somebody who hates their life. Yeah, like, you don't want to be their therapist. You want your house to be a healthy space for you.
Yeah, true. Well, do you have any tips to find a good housemate then? Find me. Tell me.
Actually, this is my biggest step, because after living with lots of people, I've cracked the code. I know how to find a good housemate. So with you, I fully interviewed you and I told you to interview me. Because unless you do that, how do you know if you guys are going to match?
That's true.
Yeah. So I remember asking you, what are your non-negotiables? How do you feel about cleanliness? What is your routine like? What do you do for work? How often will you be home? What are things that you expect of me? Is there something that just doesn't work?
Yeah, I think which is why it kind of worked. I think a few things for me were like, again, toxicity. I think it really matters on the vibes.
Yeah.
Like when I meet someone for 1 or 2 times, I would be able to tell the vibes, and like the intuition will be like, this
is not gonna work. Yeah.
Probably, which is why I've not really lived with someone toxic in the past. Yeah. But I think in terms of, again, not toxic people, but the lifestyle doesn't match, and it's just the cleanliness issues or small things like that.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, I would interview and I would be like, this is something that I really like. I don't like dishes overnight. Or
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm the cleanest person without outing myself too much, but like, I can't deal with somebody who has, those OCD traits.
Yeah.
Like somebody is like, oh, you have left this here, you can't leave it here. Like, I can't deal with that.
I can't deal with that either.
Yeah, but some people are like that,
That's
right?
true.
So normally, I have lived with such people where I will just make sure that they're comfortable. So I'll do everything they need me to do, but I don't feel relaxed.
Yeah.
And if you leave something, you're like, Arey, I've left that there. That person will get bothered by it. It just stays on your mind.
That's true.
Or somebody who is extremely, you care about cleaning a lot, then you should live with somebody only who also cares about cleaning at the same level.
Yeah.
Do not live with somebody who doesn't have that value, because it irritates me. Like, these people think this is the standard, right? And everybody has to match the standard.
Yeah.
But
I don't think I can deal with that. Because like something like, in the bathroom, I don't really care if the toilet paper roll is kept like this, upside down, or this.
Me neither.
Like how the toilet paper is kept.
Yeah.
Or like I can't live with someone who's a Monica.
Oh yeah, me neither. I mean, if you want to be Monica, you be Monica, but don't expect Rachel to be Monica.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you do you, right? But don't expect the other person to change their behaviors for you, because that's not cool.
Yeah. I had a situation where housemate she was a bit like, she would like to be clean all the time. And I like to clean my dishes every night before I go to sleep. So I would just do it once. And so I had like early morning shifts, not early morning, but I had to leave the home very early. So I would just make my chai and leave. And she had the habit of always clearing every time. I had to literally tell her to not touch my dishes. I will do it by the end of the day. Like, please, because I don't feel nice when you do my dishes, because I want to do my own dishes, but I can't do them in the morning because I have to leave. Like, I literally can't. So can you please just not do them? I will do them. So I had to have that conversation. It was a bit weird at start. Yeah, it was a situation.
Yeah, you have to have these conversations as well. Okay, question. Do you think living with a friend is a good idea?
Very interesting. I am actually not sure, because it really depends on the type of friend I'm living with. Because when you're making friends, like, a lot of times you make friends based on vibes. So in terms of that aspect, I think it should be okay. But times I don't look at how their lifestyle is, or if they also wake up at like 6 a.m. in the morning like I do. And I don't look at that when I'm making friends. So, but when you're living with someone, I think those things are a bit important, on how they, like, in terms of how they clean and how they cook, or like in terms of their money habits and all those things, little things, like they matter. So I'm not 100% sure if it's a good idea or not. I
am against it.
Really, fully?
Like, I am mostly against it, because I feel like living with a friend can ruin the friendship. We didn't know each other before we started living together, right? We met online, for people who don't know. And I'm more comfortable with meeting somebody online and talking to them to see if vibes match than living with a friend, because then you have nothing to lose. If shit goes down, you're like, theek hai, who cares? But if you live with a friend and your lifestyle doesn't match, or, they're a Monica and you're a Rachel, then that's it, you're doomed.
That's true.
So but I feel like it's a bigger gamble to live with a friend than to live with a stranger.
That is actually true. I agree with that. But you also know your friend, and if you're a smart person, you would kind of know their habits and how they live. I lived with a friend for a month when I was looking for a house and a job at the same time. And it was so nice, because both of us understood the value of like having your own space and time.
But people don't understand that as well.
But when you're with, like, that's what I'm trying to say. So if you're living with a friend, you know their habits and how they are as a person. So,
but sometimes if a friend says, hey, like, I think we should live together, okay? And okay, maybe this is not a good idea. How do you reject a friend?
Oh, that's
and you still like them as a person, right? Because they're a good friend. But how do you be like, no, I don't want to live with you, and then you go live with somebody else?
I think I would be very honest, and I would be like, I don't think it would work, and I think it would ruin the friendship. So it's good.
That's actually a good idea.
Like at the start of Friends, Phoebe moved out of Monica's house because she couldn't deal with it. And for the longest time, she didn't tell, but at the end, she did tell, and she was like, I wouldn't want to risk our friendship because of this situation, and I wasn't able to deal with it.
Yeah.
So
love Phoebe.
Be like Phoebe.
Okay, but do you think I have a toxic trait?
I don't think you have a toxic trait, but of course there are going to be like small little habits that are annoying.
Fuck, I'm so nervous for this.
It's not too bad. I think like you switch on the lights before sleeping a lot of the times. Like a lot of the times I would come out in the morning and there would be lights on.
Oh.
And I would
do I still do that?
Very less, like a few days ago, yes.
Oh.
I saw again. So I was like, but look, it's fine, but I think our electricity bill is going to go up anyways because of the winter this time. So switching the lights on overnight doesn't really make sense for me.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that...
Why are there two things?
There are two things.
Bro, just one. I did ask for two.
You don't put foil in our...
Oh, yeah, that really irks you. I have started.
Yeah, because it's like, we don't clean our... air fryer very often, right? And if you put things straight away, it gets dirty. So,
but I only ever put things which will not fall into the bottom. So if I'm putting bread, I know that the cheese is on the bread, okay? It can't fall.
But why would you want to keep the bread on a dirty surface?
It's not dirty, but it's just...
It is dirty, Diva. If you don't clean it, it is dirty.
I see your point
Wash
now.
it after every...
I get it.
Put some.
I get it. I've started using the foil. Now your turn to ask me.
Yeah, tell me. My toxic trait.
Your toxic trait is that when you put the bin bag on the bin, you don't fold it inside. So when you put the food in, the bag also falls inside the bin. Like you put the effort to throw the bin out, you change it, you put a new one on, but you don't fold it.
But because I'm never able to figure out how to do it properly, I'll leave it for you to do it.
See?
This is very funny. So this is the ideal situation. So this is how you want your housemate to be like.
Yeah, you want to tell them to put the foil on the air fryer. But I think it's important for you guys to be able to just have free-flowing conversations. Send a text about it.
Yeah, then it's annoying.
It's so irritating.
Very annoying.
Like, I hate it.
Don't be passive aggressive.
Yes.
Be a nice housemate.
Be a good person.
Anyways, this was how to deal with toxic housemate. Basically, just talk it out and be a good human and interview before living.
Yeah. But fuck, everybody has housemate stories.
Yeah.
I want to know yours. Like, I want you guys to tell us what are your toxic housemate stories. Maybe leave a comment. Maybe we can make another episode out of it.
Yeah, just talking about everybody's funny housemate stories.
That would be amazing.
Oh my god, it'll be so fun. Tell us. Now you have to tell us.
Okay, anyway, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Tune in next week for the next how-to episode.
Yes. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.